Welcome to this deep dive. I found a source I just knew you'd love, a message about parenting from the April 2023 General Conference of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Okay.
Now, before you think, wait, that's not for me, hear me out.
Right.
It's full of these insights about finding a real power source for parents, and no, not endless coffee, though I wish.
So what is this power source?
Get this, it's Jesus Christ.
Wow. Okay, go in there. But how does how does this source tie those spiritual ideas to, the daily grind of raising kids?
That's what got me. It starts with this story. You'll relate to this. Imagine a little girl asking her dad, doesn't the bishop have a dad to help him go to sleep?
Oh, I love
It's
that.
the focus kids have on their parents. It's adorable.
It's a great way to show how much responsibility parents have.
Right.
The source talks about how God trusts us with this huge neat task, even though, come on, who's got it all figured out?
Seriously, it's like, here, shape this entire human being, no pressure.
Take this.
That fear of not being good enough, every parent gets that.
Totally. And the source gets that feeling, but reminds us that, God wouldn't give us this role if he didn't think we could handle it.
It's almost comforting, you know. He believes in us even when we don't.
Yeah, he does. But he's also honest about the challenges. The source mentions how there are things, it uses Satan as a symbol, but these forces that try to make us doubt ourselves as parents.
And that's when we have to tap into that strength of parents he keeps talking about, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But sometimes that feels like a huge jump to make. How do we go from stressed out parent to empowered by Christ in a real practical way?
That's the question, right? And the source doesn't make it some magic trick. It focuses on how a parent's love, just that love for your kid, it's already so powerful.
This force inside.
Exactly. And Christ just makes it even stronger.
So it's not about being a perfect parent who never yells, always has the right answer. It's more about like letting that love guide us.
Exactly. Recognizing the power in that parent-child bond. The source even says not every parent-child relationship is perfect. There can be hurt, frustration, distance.
Right.
And it says that Christ can help heal those wounds too.
It's hopeful because a lot of parents, I think they blame themselves for not having those perfect relationships with their kids.
Absolutely. The source says focus on the kind of home you're creating. Does it reflect, Christ-like qualities? Prayer, learning, joy, belonging, that kind of thing.
Which that makes me think of that whole house divided idea.
Oh, interesting connection.
Like if the foundation isn't strong.
It's about being united.
And that actually, this leads into the small and steady wins the race idea, which I know we'll get into more. But it made me think of all the pressure to create these huge, impactful moments as parents.
Oh, yeah.
Like every day has to be this life-changing experience.
The Instagram-worthy parenting moment.
Exactly. But this source really challenged that for me. It says that sometimes the littlest, most consistent acts of love, of faith, those make the biggest difference long term.
It's true.
It's like that saying, it's not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves,
The source uses this metaphor of building faith, like eating daily bread.
I love that.
It's gradual.
Yes, because it's easy to get caught up in needing those big dramatic gestures to matter, but really it's the day-to-day, the small connections that form a person.
Absolutely. And that's what parents can give that no one else can, that always their presence.
It's like tending a garden. You can't make it grow faster. You nurture it and trust the process.
It's a partnership. We do our part, but we also have to let go and let something bigger than us help things grow.
And that takes us to this idea of divine guidance or intuition. Even if you're not religious, this applies. It's about listening to that inner wisdom we all have, that gut feeling about what your child needs, even when they can't say it.
He uses personal revelation. It sounds very faith-based.
It does.
But it's about acknowledging we need help sometimes, beyond what we can figure out ourselves.
Creating space for those insights to come through.
Exactly. Quieting the world and listening to that inner voice, that still small voice.
It's like we have to tune everything out to hear it sometimes.
Yes, exactly. And, when we talk about powerful changes, I thought the source's take on what it calls the mighty change was really interesting.
Yeah.
It starts with this idea, so many parents will relate to this. It's that whole comparing yourself to the perfect family thing.
Oh, I know that trap well.
Right. Like those families at church, in the neighborhood, always put together. Kids are little angels.
Never a hair out of place.
It makes you feel so inadequate.
Totally.
And Elder Uchtdorf, he's the one speaking. He's like, guess what? Everyone feels that way sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, the source totally changes how to think about it.
How so?
It's not about being perfect. It's about, having the power to be better versions of ourselves. Does that make
I
sense?
like that. It's about growing, not being perfect right away.
Exactly. And the source says Christ is what makes this mighty change happen.
Okay.
But it's not instant. It's a process, like we can have more patience, love, be more selfless, have more faith.
All those things we want for our kids, but also for ourselves.
Exactly.
It's like we're all a work in progress, which is kind of freeing, you know?
It takes the pressure off, for sure.
It does.
And this source, it's about Christ, but the message is for everyone. We all want to grow to be our best selves, right?
Exactly.
So maybe you find that through, I don't know, spirituality, therapy, having a supportive community.
It's about that power outside ourselves we can tap into.
Yes. Now, the source, it talks about specific resources the church has, like For the Strength of Youth pamphlet, FSY conferences.
Sure, which makes sense in that context.
But the bigger takeaway for any parent is that community matters so much.
100%. It takes a village.
Right. And it talks about mentors, role models, how important those are for kids.
And those can come from anywhere. Teachers, family, friends.
Exactly. And not just for the kids, for us as parents, too. Having people to ask for advice, encouragement, even just to listen.
Oh, it makes all the difference because parenting can be so isolating.
It can. Having those connections, knowing you're not alone, it's huge.
It really does. Just having that support system makes you feel so much stronger.
Knowing you're not alone, facing the tough stuff together, celebrating the good stuff, giving each other grace.
And that's so important, that grace, for ourselves and each other.
Definitely. So we've covered a lot here, the challenges of being a parent, the power of a parent's love, remembering it's the little things, trusting our gut, and, letting ourselves grow, finding strength in our people.
It's a lot, but it's encouraging too, right?
Yeah.
Before we finish up, is there anything else from this talk we should mention?
There's this metaphor at the end. I think it sums it all up. It compares raising a child to helping a flower grow.
Oh, I like that. Tell me more.
So you can't force a flower to get bigger or bloom faster than it's ready. All you can do is give it the right stuff to grow, good soil, water, sunlight, and then let it do its thing.
Create the environment, but trust the process.
Exactly. And I think that's true for so much of being a parent. We have to let go of controlling everything and believe that with support, our kids will blossom in their own time.
It's hard to do sometimes, let go.
It is.
But even when it's tough, even when, let's be honest, we mess up as parents, there's always hope. We can always try again.
The source says, with Christ, who it calls the master healer, new beginnings are always possible.
It's about remembering no matter what happens, we have that ability to start fresh with hope, with love. There's always more.
Always.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what really stuck with you? Was it those small but consistent actions? The idea of seeking guidance, maybe from within? Or just that reminder that we're all a work in progress, parents and people in general?
This source gave us a really unique way to think about this whole parenting journey. It's a good reminder that we're not alone in this, in the tough parts or the good ones.
Absolutely not. We're all in this together. And on that note, until next time, keep diving deep and discovering those little bits of wisdom that make life richer,
Absolutely.
See you next time.